Before we move on to that wonderful last paragraph of this Gosho, I should have mentioned, talking about the previous paragraph which you read, I cannot hold back my tears when I think of the great persecution confronting me now. So I'm sure Nichiren Daishonin must also feel, wherever he may be in the great universe, the same feeling of emotion concerning the battle that we're having to fight now. And his pride in the way the bodhisattvas of the earth are standing up and resisting and determining that one way or another this problem has to be solved, and that no matter what, they'll never give up their activities for Kosen Rufu and their practice to the Gonzen and their study of Gosho to be the basis of our lives. And Sensei has said this strongly. We are all increasingly understanding that our mission at this time can be nothing else but to drive on the movement for Kosen Rufu based on our deep faith in the Gonzen and the Gosho. And if we do that, I'm convinced that the cause is then made for this whole problem of the priesthood to be sorted out. Some sort of conclusion will be reached, and some sort of revolutionizing, if you like, of the whole priesthood and their mode of conduct in a way which would be suitable for the age which we're entering now on the way into the 21st century. So going on to this last wonderful paragraph, this is actually a lecture in itself or on its own. But he is saying here clearly what our task is as bodhisattvas of the earth. And you must remember that Nichiren Daishonin and Sarenbo were themselves in exile. They also, as it were, had been excommunicated. And there they were on this wild island under dreadful conditions. Nevertheless, Nichiren Daishonin's spirit was so great. And this he was teaching to Sarenbo, who was also a priest of the Tendai sect, and who for some reason or another also been exiled to Sado. So maybe he was a revolutionary and wasn't satisfied with the way Buddhism was being taught. And Nichiren Daishonin was able to convert him to his own teachings. So he was training in these words Sarenbo for the future. But what he says here is what we should perhaps say to ourselves every day, because this is the way we should proceed while all this uproar is going on, and this revolution, I'm sure, within the priesthood is taking place. So we must forge strong faith, believe in the Gons and the supreme object of worship in the world, and no matter what, exert ourselves in the two ways of practice and study. Nothing is worth doing half-heartedly. He's saying, please exert yourselves. And perhaps we should say that specially to us at this particular time, to exert ourselves in our daily practice, to deepen our faith, and to continue, no matter what, the movement for Kosen Rufu. And in this way, of course, as we all understand, we keep in rhythm. There is a rhythm to life, isn't there? The rhythm we call Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. It's a law of life or a rhythm of life. And provided we keep to that rhythm through our daily practice, we shall ride through this storm as we've ridden through storms in the past. And this matter will be resolved in the best possible way for the future. So also an outstanding point in those anonymous letters the priests have written is exhorting us not to be swayed by anything that happens during this time of upheaval, and to realize and believe and know that the greatest evil is always followed by the greatest good. They've all emphasized that point. Even this great university professor, he he ends his essay. I'll just read it to you because it's so stirring. He said, viewed from a long historical perspective, this problem with the priesthood will serve to leave behind that part which is most pure and polished. Rather, if it does not, the entirety will become defiled and stagnant. It is important that Soka Gakkai members view this situation as a detonator that will blast them towards even greater progress and advancement. While portions of the media are sensationalizing the issue, I hope the Soka Gakkai members will have the spirit to change this into a tailwind that propels them forward and an excellent opportunity to do away with negative influences from the past. So wonderful words from an old professor, at least an elderly professor, and of course a non-member. So we can take heart from these things, and it will help us, of course, all of us, to keep together in strong unity and advance following Sensei's guidance. This is the way we have to do until this whole matter is solved. And in mentioning Sensei, I would also like to mention an extraordinary fact concerning his place in this whole movement, if I may. It all centers around the year 1928. And in that year, 1928, Nikken Shonin's father became high priest of Nichiren Shoshu. And in that same year of 1928, Nikken himself was tonsured and became a trainee priest. And in that same year, Mr. Makiguchi and Mr. Toda were converted to Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism. And in that same year, Sensei was born. It's really amazing, isn't it? So in a way, it's like the most important characters in this whole upheaval appeared in the rhythm of life and in the rhythm of Kosen Rufu at that time. So this makes us understand that this is not by chance and that it has a great purpose, this upheaval, which is our task to live through, because out of it all will become a movement of lay people which is even stronger, and who also, because of all that's happening in the priesthood, quite naturally find themselves taking a look at themselves, the way they run their affairs, and at the same time, the priesthood must, in the end, revolutionize their way of life in readiness to tackle the new century. So it's an extraordinary turning point in the history of Buddhism as a whole. And as the professor of Meiji University says, and this will have wider implications than just Soka Gakkai and the Nichiren Shoshu priests, and have a profound effect, certainly on the whole of Japan. And of course, ultimately in the world, because through fighting our way through this whole situation, we become stronger as bodhisattvas of the earth and clearer about our true mission in this world. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. So thank you very much